Hello there, my beautiful and lovely gamers. My name is Jonal. It's been a while since we've done some VOD reviewing on this channel. Again, depending on how many likes and so on, how well this is received for you guys. So feedback and so on down in the comment section is always appreciated. So know what you guys like of content, right? What my content you guys like. So that's really something that I'm interested in knowing. So we will make more of these. So if you guys are interested in getting your VOD potentially reviewed on the channel, then you can go onto a Discord server, which is linked down in the description, and you can submit your VODs on a hashtag help or hashtag journal stream chat. It's a really great community. If they don't get posted onto YouTube, there's a chance that someone else, or the big chance that someone else in the community will give you guys some pointers and some feedback in the chat and try to help you. And if you're interested in becoming a coach, or at least trying out coaching, there are VODs there and people that are interested in helping and also giving you feedback on the feedback that you give to someone. Make sense? Good. Okay, so besides that, as always, guys, if you guys are interested in hiring me as a private coach, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Doesn't matter if you're bronze or top 500, as long as you can get a VOD to me, I can help you improve, rank up, and get better at the game. And doesn't matter if you play for a team or not, if it's solo queue or whatever. So yeah, if you're interested in that, then you can hit me up on a personal DM on a Discord server. As again, that is linked down in the description, together with my Twitch and my Twitter. Now, let's really start. So, what is his overall? So we like to do overall because it helps you guys kind of what we are looking at today, so you guys can help kind of spot mistakes while reviewing, so it's not just you guys listening to me. And it's also good because instead of just telling him how he should have played this match better, which have already lost, we want to prepare him to win all other maps, not just this one map, but other maps and so on. So we do overall. So we're taking a little bit look at his usage of ability, especially his deflect. That's one of the big pointers. Then it's a lot of times his positioning, which kind of messes it up. So ability usage of deflect, his positioning, and then his playstyle. He's a very passive playstyle. You'll notice this in how he positions himself, right? His positioning and his playstyle kind of ties them together, and you'll notice that when you see this guy, including wasting his abilities and misunderstanding how to use his deflect. So that's really the majority of the stuff that we're going to take a look at today. And we're only going to look at the attack part because, again, it's a YouTube video, so there's time limits, but let's really just start here. Okay, coming here, spamming. Okay, so this is just standard. He pushes through, waits on his team for some reason, but okay. There's a hog up there. He walks around here, goes up here, overcommits his wall climb, and it instantly wastes his deflect. This is potentially very bad, right? Because now this hog can hold his high ground for as long as he wants to just shoot straight down on them, right? If the enemy team decides to set up in this choke right here, which they decide to defend here, the hog is up here, the hog can essentially just stand now and shoot down. The Genji is really the guy for high ground control, so you want to be pressuring and pushing this hog in such a way that if he stays up there, he just feeds you Dragon Blade, right? And you can potentially kill him, right? A good way to kind of show it, this is like a very small thing, but when you start hitting diamond and you want to hit masters and so on, this is like the big things, right? Instead of climbing like this, right, where you can essentially jump up, right? If you climb like this, right, it's so much harder for them to hook you, right? There's a corner here, there's these haystacks, and then there is the drop of yourself, so it's practically impossible for him to hook you, right? Because that's what we're scared of here, right? We're scared of him hooking me, right? So I can just climb up here, right? Play like that, right? Play close to this wall, send shurikens at him, right? And he's going to be at the same elevation, approximately the same area, so it's super easy for me to just keep the crosshair the same area, right? And then continue spamming, constantly landing hits and so on. And again, we don't want to waste deflect, so look for a tail sign before you pop it, right? You don't want to block a shotgun shot, you want to block the hook. As always, the rules for deflect, and remember, the rules are meant to be broken, so there are exceptions, but a good rule set to have for deflect, right, is that we want to block valuable stuff, right? Stuff that is valuable. So on sleep dots, that widow shot that was gonna headshot you, right, because we were closing the gap. Roadhog hook, right, and so on, right? Fire strikes can get a lot of value out of that, right? McCree flashbang, so on, right? And that's like we want to use it as a personal shield to block very valuable stuff. Also, if we're like, let's say we're 25 health left, right, and we're backing off to a corner, then we can use deflect to block, you know, that soldier shots, right? Because at that point, when we're so low health, right, the soldier shot has so much value because they can kill us, right? So you want to use it as like a personal shield to block something very valuable, force someone to burn a cooldown that we want them to burn. For example, if the hog doesn't have hook, he's not very scary for us anymore. Now, let's just continue. So we waste that. The enemy team is going to set up on the left side, and then they rotate to the right side. Right, they rotate over here, right? And notice that this is actually a pretty good positioning. up here, right? This is a pretty good positioning. You don't want to try to deal too much with this. There's practically no reason to shoot at her, right? You can practically not hit her. So unless you're very consistent with hitting her, don't waste your time. Shoot down there. We want to build blade, right? It's in the middle of the fight. We're looking for 1, we're looking for picks, and 2, we're looking for damage, because damage means blade. We want to build that dragon blading, right? Again, worst case scenario is for a Genji player. If we fuck up everything and we don't get kills, our team doesn't push, whatever, as long as we are building a blade, we will win, because blade can essentially win every single team fight as long as they don't transit, right? So yeah, so you want to be looking for that. Just ignore her, right? You're spamming, you're shooting, and now he's going to do the first mistake. He's just going to run in here and immediately die, right? Essentially not checking. There's a Pharah above you, and you can't block the arrows in that angle. There was no reason for you to deflect here, and there was a Moira that flew past you as well. Again, we don't want to waste the deflect like that. You essentially ran into damage to pop deflect. Instead of using deflect to save yourself, or use it to, you know, advance upon an enemy or do something like that, we just went in there and just popped deflect just to block damage for no reason. There was no reason to do so, right? The Moira comes here through his left side. He probably didn't spot it, right? And now he dies, right? And yeah, he types a question mark. No reason to do that. Complete waste. Coming back out of spawn, he's going to swap to a Widowmaker. The only thing I'm going to comment on here is, because I watched the VOD, your Widowmaker aim is really bad. Even the Pharah is not the problem. Again, you could easily have pushed through this high ground. Just played, you know, up here, shot shurikens, right? Look for an opening, made until your team pushed or whatever, right? And then you could have used this wall to climb over, start shooting, dealing damage. You had the flag, so you could easily have engaged and disengaged. You could have pushed their team comp very aggressively as a Genji if you wanted to, right? You could look for picks and damage and so on. As long as you played up here, you can avoid most of the damage, and you can get off some pretty good shots here, down the wall, climb over, get shots in, right? That way you are fighting in this area where the enemy team had most of their squishies and so on was set up in this area, meaning you're in that 50-meter range. As soon as people start taking too much damage, you can dash in and look for kills, right? So you would just like to poke and play around here, look for ult shots, and look for a opportunity to kill something. You're gonna lock Widow, and there's nothing wrong with locking the Widow, but the problem is that you're not gonna be able to hit a single shot effectively. You're only gonna land body shot this entire time, and it's very clear, like even on the Orisa, and it's very clear that you're not very comfortable with the aiming of this hero. At least that's what it looks like. So don't pick someone, like you miss shots like that. Don't pick someone because you think it's gonna quote-unquote counter something if you're not comfortable on it. Because right now, even though you know they have a Pharah, so we need a Widow, if you're not a very good Widow, you're just wasting your time. Because right now you are, since you're not getting any picks, it might just be a bad day, but since you're right now not getting any picks, I can only work with what I'm seeing. And since you can't land headshots effectively, well, at that point you're gonna struggle so much with how you get armored and bubble to survive, right? You're not getting any picks, so right now you're relying on your team to carry you, right? So don't, right? Stuff like that, should be very easy hits to get to, and that's kind of what I'm expecting for someone in Diamond to be able to hit if they're gonna lock that hero. At that point, pick a Kree. He's much more efficient at this. Pick an Ashe. Do someone else if you're absolutely gonna pick a hit scan that has far more of a lesser requirement to land immediate headshots all the time, right? Right. Because notice how many, every time you miss one of these shots, you can, at least with a Kree, you can push with flash and so on, right? Your team is gonna get some kills here. There's gonna go a barrage off, and there's really no reason for me to comment too much on this Widow gameplay. Your positioning is just fine. Like, you're getting value out of your positioning. This is a pretty good position zone. The problem is really here a lot is your mechanics, right? Your team pops off and kill everyone for you. Super great. You're gonna push up here and die to a handsome. Let's go back to the Genji, which is what we were reviewing. Okay. So the first kind of fight that you were fighting here was a very kind of big one. You kind of pushed like this, waited a long time, pushed up here, kind of wasted the flag, then you pushed here, and then you kind of fed, right? So let's notice how you play passive now. You're gonna push up here, you're gonna poke, you're gonna take the high ground. That's great. Denying this high ground is super effective for stuff, and then we do stuff like this. So first of all, why would we not stay on high ground right now? There's no one on high ground right now contesting it. We have dash and deflect if someone pushes the stairs on us, like a hog, because we can't see the hog. And why would we be poking here? The Hanzo can one-shot us, and we are not in the 15-meter dash range here, right? We are on purposely distancing ourselves from the enemy team and playing inside their effective range. Compare that to if you went, for example, up here, right? You could shoot here, right? You went to here, and now you can fight, right? Now I can easily push kills, right? Now, I'm much closer, so it's easier for me to do stuff. I have immediate cover compared to down there. I have this sign, right? And I can peek from all kinds of angles here, right? And if I want to, I can actually push kills here, right? I can actually go in and push kills if I absolutely want to, right? This is much better than staying, you know, down here, right? Now I hit them, right? After my second to third dash, I would have hit them, right? The enemy teams are falling back. You take high ground. You play super far back here. You're gonna start poking at this Widowmaker, right? Hiding. Like, notice how passive you're playing. There's no one controlling this high ground for you. So just take the high ground and start pushing their main group. Their main group is playing underneath, you know, here. The enemy team is playing, you know, here, and this area is here, right? You can play over here and just shoot straight down on them, and there's nothing they can do about it. Actually, I'll show you a gameplay that I have of me doing this in Grandmaster. Where the fuck is it? It's is it this gameplay? I think so. Yes, this gameplay. Okay, so notice the same. Bam, bam, whatever. We push kills here, right? Here I do the same thing, right? We play here, whatever, deflect. I push in here. I get this angle. I start poking the creep, right? This is the exact same stuff, right? There's a junk right here. He gets slow because they're blocking that angle. He is slow. I dash. I kill the Rhine. Whatever. Okay, cool. Get some dash resets, and I push the high ground and start bullying them. Right? This is GM. Right? Start just shooting down on the Rhine. He's gonna hook me. It's very clear. I pop deflect. Right? They have already wasted their sorryable on the Rhine, and I'm just standing here farming. I'm 60% on my blade right now. Right? And I'm just poking because no one is contesting me on this high ground. Right? Because I can play this close to the corners. And this is dragging so much attention away from my team. And I'm taking practically no damage. And I'm building nice ult shots. And, right? And then I'm in position to do stuff like this, right? I miss my combo. And I get this in anyway. Because the Kree shoots at deflect, right? Playing aggressively like this, right? It allows me to mess up stuff like this, right? I can push the Zarya aggressively and kill her, right? So playing aggressively on this high ground is important. There's no reason to be scared, right? There's no one up here. There's no one they can send. They can't dive you or anything like that. So there's no reason to, right? If you had been further up, you could have easily punished that Widowmaker, right? Sorry, I'm so sick. Okay, yeah, you jump in front of the entire enemy team, you pop deflect, you get a kill, and then you die. Why the fuck would you drop in front of the enemy team? It's not like you were getting anything out of that, right? Just spam high ground and shoot down on them. Wait until they push up to you, right? Graviton comes out, you start dash resetting, this is good. Good to start burning your dash resets, as you know you're gonna constantly get it over and over again. There's a Widowmaker, there's a D.Va in here, you D-Mag, great, you have Blade, you don't use it right now, which is super nice. Get the Lucio, and continue pushing. Good, this is you taking the space, right? This is what we want to see, right? Pushing staggers, pushing spawns, looking for kills. You kill the Hanzo, you die the Widowmaker, and this is where we wanted to talk a little bit about the mechanics. You're gonna melee spam now. Melee, right? You right-click melee. We right-click melee in the end of our combos to get a last hit, right? If that's only the only thing that we're doing, it's only for a secured last hit on someone. That's when we start the right-click melees. So there's no reason for you to spam right-click melee all the time. Instead, rather take a short second to breathe and then, you know, actually line up a right-click, okay? You're going to be playing up here. Again, you're going to drop in front of them, deflect all the damage, which is kind of weird because you're spotting yourself, whatever. You have this tendency to do that, to drop in front of the enemy team and pop deflect all the time. Which is great because you're blocking some damage and so on for your team. But again, remember that during our dive and so on, especially with Blade and whatever, we would very much like, for example, there was a Widowmaker set up further back. When we go in there, right? We use this deflect for no real reason except blocking some damage, right? So we block some damage, whatever, into the tanks. And there's a Widowmaker behind, right? They can line up a shot now at us. She's there. Right? This is the Widow. It's a little bit low quality, but whatever. This is the Widow. Would be nice to have the immunity spell right now so we can deflect the shot. Deflect the shot that might headshot and then dash to her, canceling the deflect and then cutting her and then killing her. Right? So no reason to waste your deflect, right? We don't deflect for damage. We deflect to try to block those valuable ultimates. Of course, sometimes we do block deflect damage, right? But that's, for me, as I said, that's right now an exception to the rules. So right now, just focus on the fact that it's to block high value abilities and damage abilities and so on, right? And a personal shield. You're gonna waste your dash here, right? Again, what's the rule for Swift Strike? We dash if we can guarantee a kill, so we get the reset, right? So if we can get a kill, then we dash. or to position ourselves, which does not mean position yourself up to the Zen. That means positioning yourself like, oh, I'm overextended, I'm dashing back to my team, right? That's the position that we're talking about, right? In theory, right, if we see a Zen, let's say he's 100 health, right? And he can't get healed. And we dash to him, dealing, you know, 50 plus 30 because the melee, which is 80, right? And then we finish him off with a right click, right? Killing him. Then in theory, right, then we dash to him because we were 1, guaranteeing the kill, and 2, so we could position ourselves closer to him so we could finish him off, right? But in theory, again, we just want to dash the stuff and we can guarantee a kill. You don't guarantee a kill, you also burn to deflect. You're 4 health, you get out because the enemy team is bad and not because you're good, right? That would have been huge for them because that would be, hey, it's 5v6, boys. Let's just contest the card and win next team fight, right? You're gonna flank all the way around here. Right now you're out of combat, you're out of combat, you're out of combat, you're out of combat, you're out of combat. Now you're back into combat, right? You go for this end, you also mess up a lot of your stuff. Hands on the side, right? Doing flanks like that is rarely something that you want to do. Again, because you're splitting from your team, you're not being active in your team, and there's a risk that you will be alone and therefore die alone on that side, right? You're very easily punished, so you get rezzed here, which is great, but rather play with your team. Again, if you play with your team on that third point, right? You play around here and so on. You play around here, you can deny this flank, you can kill secure, you can see who on your team is dealing damage to what, so you can actually kill secure for your team. If you want to get that send, you can a lot of time actually push past and then die them, right? But it's much better that you're fighting here with your team and you can look at opportunities and dealing damage and deny flanks and so on, than you flanking all the way alone, wasting a lot of time to try to 1v1 the Zen, who can actually get peeled in the back line, right? And actually kill you, right? Big shout out from your team, and I do believe that this is where you guys win it, right? Same with here, you dive the Zen. Okay. You're gonna miss most of your shots, choke on your mechanics. And they see 9. Okay, so what did we learn from today's VOD, boys? It's quite easy. We want to push aggressively, right? So stuff like, for example, kind of to run it straight down and kind of get done with it, even though this video is way too fucking long, right? We push like this, right? We go up here, blah, 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 we can spam, we can look for opportunities. If we feel threatened up there, we can just play here, right? We can climb these angles, we can push in here, we have all this stuff, right? We have these nice angles that we can play from, right? And look for kills, right? Second point, we can play aggressively. Again, if they don't take the high ground, then great, then we take the high ground from them. Right here, we can play aggressively. We can jump up here, we can right-click down on them, we can bully them, right? There's an access to the backline here, access to the tanks there, right? We have this thing that we're just above them. If anyone takes a huge amount of damage, then we can dash reset on them. If someone is alone or not getting healed, or we land a good combo of shurikens, then that's super great. We can, again, dash that and kill it. Or, worst case scenario, we will Dragon Blade and then we fucking just blade on them, right? We can legitimate blade on the high ground and just drop and then start cutting, right? Super easy, right? Same goes with third point. Okay, you push in here, you can take this high ground, you're gonna use your blade on third point, and that's great, right? Up here, it's the same thing. The enemy team is on that low ground, we can hide, we can right-click go above them, we can shoot over their shields, we can pressure the tanks, we can attack their back line, right? We have really good positions, right? And if we want to blade, then we can blade. Same goes for third point. We can play here. We can deny this right side, right? There's a wall. We can climb over here, right? We can fight here. We can dive in and so on. So we can play aggressively, pushing. You need to push aggressively constantly. Put yourself in that 15-meter range of your enemies that you want to kill. If you're not within 15 meters, then you can't dash melee, you know, kill something, right? You can't do this if you're not in that 15-meter range. You can't kill secure. You're never gonna get the kill, and you're never gonna frag, right? So that's really all for today, guys. As always, tell me what you guys like in the comments down below. Like and subscribe with the bell notification, because I need to say that now. And yeah, besides that, guys, I hope you have a lovely gaming experience. My name has been Jonal. You guys stay awesome. Take care of yourself. I love you guys very much. And as always, keep the enemy in your crosshair.